How's it going, everybody? So I know you. How are you? So what a difference a year makes. So thank you for letting me be here. My name is James Schleicher, and hopefully we'll shed some light on what all this career talk stuff is about. This is Dave. He's the video ninja, awesome guy. But we try to record this stuff, post it on our YouTube to kind of help other people learn from the things we talk about. So my whole goal today is hopefully eliminate a lot of the mistakes and failures that potentially could await for you that I had to experience, and my goal is to always come back, we talk a lot to high schools and colleges about careers, about goal setting and planning. I wrote a book called It All Starts With the Plan. That's something my grandpa always said, so just understand that whatever you want out of life, it simply starts with the plan, and then we'll get more into how you kind of break down those goals. So again, a lot of this stuff is going to sound cheesy, and I apologize, but just understand that these are some of the truths in life that will hopefully give you some guidance as you're moving along. First thing is, so career success does not equal life happiness. Has anybody heard of or know of people that are technically successful but are miserable? You have an example? Anybody? Your mom? Okay. All right, so tell mom, keep it up, hang in there. So what is that? I mean, that's the majority of people. Most people, when they're talking about their job, talking about their career, they're talking about, oh, I hate it, I can't stand it, oh, I can't, they made this change at work, and the industry's doing this and doing that. So the goal is, hopefully, thank you for being honest and sharing, all right? So again, tell your mom, thank you for being our example, she's the best. But that's what we don't want. We don't want to get trapped in a career that is not supporting the life you want, okay? So, and I've been there. So my first 5 years of my career, on paper, I worked my tail off. On paper, my business card said I was successful, all right? I got my own place. I got a car that didn't break down in people's driveways when I go talk to them about business. Out of grandma's basement, all right? I'm living the dream. I'd never been more miserable in my entire life, okay? So this, again, a lot of what we're chatting about is not because I did it the right way. It's because I did it the completely wrong way, and you all are going to do it the right way because you're smarter than I. I'm not smart. So first step, we're trying to figure out, okay, how do I make sure my success brings me happiness and not misery, is eliminate the word should from your life and career planning. And there might be people in your life that are telling, well, you should do this. Like, you should go in this career, you should go in this industry, you should go to this school, you should do this, you should do that. That's fine. And a lot of people are in love trying to help you identify things that you might be good at, things that might be beneficial for you. I'll let you know that when I told my grandma that I was going into business after college, couldn't find a job, she started crying. So that was not the moral support that I was technically working for. So she said, no one's going to do business with you, James. Not in this account. So I didn't know it was, how bad. I graduated 2007, started January 2008. I didn't know how bad the economy was, I had no clue. But understand that, again, in love, my grandma was trying to get me to go do something, something that, at least on paper, was safer. And a lot of times why we end up miserable with what we're doing is we're taking the easy way out or trying to kind of take the safe way out, if that makes sense. Jim Carrey, there's a graduation speech. I can't remember what school it is. It's something you could Google, YouTube it. But he talks about his dad gave up a lot of his dreams to become an accountant, sacrificed what he loved to do the safe thing, and ended up getting fired, getting let go anyway. So he talks about, if you can fail at what you don't want to do, why not go and fail at what you do want to do? And when it comes to failure, is actually my next thing here is expect success, but understand failure. You cannot achieve success without failure. All right, and more importantly, learning from failure. And speaking of failure, I didn't start my disappearing clock, so failure, biggest loser you know. I've lost more than anybody. So you have to fail, but you have to learn from it. And if you're going to fail, you're going to have to learn from anything anyway. Why not do something you enjoy or something that brings passion and fulfillment to your life? This is what I learned. I mean, this is my college experience. Everything I thought was going to happen, everything I dreamed of that my college experience would be, went wrong. Went completely the opposite. So, which brings me to my next point here that I learned. This is my aha reflection from global pandemic, quarantine, being in my basement for a year. Thank you for helping me get out of my basement. Appreciate it. The thing for me was I'd kill for more family time. Anything for more family. I'd do anything. I just wish the world could shut down for a couple of days. Wish everybody could just stay at home and not leave for a couple of days. Careful what you wish for. So it went from me wishing and wanting and dreaming of more family time to, you were babysitting for us, thank you very much. Too much family time, 24/7 family time. Can't leave. My daughter, she's 2 now, so she was 1, couldn't walk, and needed constant attention. And my wife and I were both trying to work at the same time, and my son JJ was 3 at the time, and he did not like potty training. He refused to go pee in the potty. So, in the middle of a meeting, next thing I know, I'm changing diapers, and then I go to the next meeting. Next thing I know, I'm chasing JJ around the house trying to get him to go pee in the potty. So, any of you looking to be parents one day, that's what you get to enjoy. So just understand, life gives you exactly what you want. Most likely, never how you wanted it. So the purpose is not to plan and hit goals and get everything exactly how you want it, but to get what you want in some shape or form instead of getting what you don't want. All right, so if you don't plan, you don't set goals, you don't strive for it, you're not going to get it anyway. All right, last few quotes. I want to kind of, again, hopefully these quotes will serve you someday, sometime in your life, or even something that you're going through right now. Hopefully this speaks to you, and understand that you're not alone, okay? It's not just you that's stressed out. It's not just you that's trying to accomplish things and they're going wrong and you feel like you're beating your head against the wall sometimes. But so Elon Musk, one of his, and again, I'm kind of summarizing these, so I'm probably butchering them, my fault. Talks about if you want to get something, if you plan to do something in 20 years, it's going to take 20 years. If you plan to do something in 2 hours, it'll magically take 2 hours. So be careful when you're setting time frames and deadlines to what you want out of life and what you are, when you're going to start planning for your next steps. Because if you're like, I'll start it next year, maybe. But if you say, I'm going to start this by the end of the week, magically start by the end of the week. By that time you get to the end of the year when you were going to start planning, you've already evolved so much and you've already developed so much that the person you are today you don't even recognize. Change happens quickly, development happens quickly if you are intentional about it. Warren Buffett talks about how an idiot with a plan will always beat the genius without one. So I am not smart. All of you are already ahead of where I was in high school. You're already having these conversations. I was telling our rock star teachers here how awful I was at algebra. So when numbers and letters started to mix and equal things, I'm out. Me and my buddy Jeremy used to fight for the worst score in the class. We used to who's going to get the worst grade this time? So understand, and we'll get more into about working strengths and weaknesses and all that, but just understand that if you have a plan, you don't have to be the smartest person, or you don't have to have certain things go your way. You don't have to get lucky if you have a plan. Last quote, so gentleman Keith Cunningham, so any of you that are looking to go into business or have any, if you want to be an entrepreneur or whatever it is that you're thinking about, Keith Cunningham's probably one of my favorite people that I suck at reading. I'm the worst at reading, so I'll do audiobooks. So, but his audiobooks are really good. He has one called The Road Less Stupid, which is perfect for me. So the thing that he says is all my problems started as a good idea. So, have you ever had a good idea that went wrong? Seriously?
Probably.
You sure? Probably. Okay, so is there any problems that you're dealing with right now? And you have to disclose them. But is there anything in recent memory that you're like, you know what? It did seem like a good idea, but man, did that backfire. Okay. Anybody else? Same thing? All right. Understand we're human. We have good ideas like, dude, this is going to be the thing. This is going to solve all my problems. And I did that yesterday morning. And I'm like, this is the thing. I'm going to make this decision. I'm going to have this good idea. I'm going to send this email. Then I'm going to call this person. I'm going to do this, and this is going to be awesome. A few hours later, I'm on the phone for 3 hours playing, basically doing damage control because my good idea backfired. So understand that don't stop having your good ideas. Don't stop trying to make things better, but understand that majority of our ideas, once they're out of our heads and in action in the world, don't always work, okay? So again, hopefully this serves you some way, shape, or form. What we're going to now start getting into is, okay, what is a career? How to make better decisions in life? How do I create my life plan and career plan to support that? Super exciting, exhilarating stuff. So pop quiz, missing the tie-dye shirt. What is a career? A job, all right. You serve as an NC? NC State, not to be confused, man. All right, not to be, so what is career to you, brother?
Like something you go to school for, and then once you get out of school, you get a job.
Okay, perfect. Missing the jean jacket.
Something you work toward or work for your life.
Okay, perfect. All right answers, perfect. So stickers, college credit, bonus credit. Those are all correct. Those are all correct. So understand, so what is a career? A career is something that you go to work and do. You might hear someone say, bruh, you need a career, not a job, man. You don't want a job, you want a career, man. What's the difference? Job is usually, hypothetically something you jump from job to job. Your job is not your last place to kind of hang your hat when it comes to your work life. Career is something you're like, hey, I want to do this the rest of my life. So if you are planning for a career and it's going to be the rest of your life, is it probably important to be planning and thinking about what am I going to be stuck doing my entire life? Probably an important decision we got to make, all right? So next question, pop quiz. What's important about a career? What you miss?
You go to school for it? I don't know.
Right? Okay, no, that's very true. You need most likely you need some type of continuing education. It's not like, I know for me, when I got in my career, I knew nothing. All right, I was kind of forced into it, I had no background in it. So, but I did have to continue to, while you're in your career, continue to educate yourself and enhance your skills. What about you?
You're going to be doing it for the rest of your life, so you got to make sure you like it.
Okay, doing the rest of your life. So let's ask this question. So what do you get? So you go work, you get your education, you go do your career thing, right? What's the point? Are you you're just doing it because man, I really want to give back to society. I really want to be part of the productivity in the economy, do my due diligence as a citizen of the United States of America. Doing for the money, right? So, as long as the business you're working for doesn't fail, you'll continue to get paid. So the whole purpose of career, ultimately, is you're going to get paid for something, right? So, the mistake people make, so the trap you get in when you're not thinking about what you want out of life, and you're just totally focused on, all right, I'll wing it, I'll figure it out, and then I'll just have a career, is instead of having the life you wanted, you're forced to have the life you can afford. And what I mean by I've never been, when I was making less money with my business, I was happy. When I'm making more money in my business, I'm still happy, but So it's not about, hey, I need the highest paying career. But understand that depending on what you're making is going to be that's what you can afford. It's the type of house. So if you want a type of house, if you don't care, you want to live off the land, do your thing. I got one buddy that became a beekeeper recently. He just wants to live off the land, do his thing. All right, cool. I have other people that, friends that became doctors, and they want the fancy car, they want this, they want that. And I people everywhere in between. So understand you have to make sure, know thyself. What do you really want? Do you want a family? Do you want to be like me that eventually you have a car that doesn't break down everywhere you go? Your career needs to support the life you want. So, decision making. True or false? So with the protein shake, bro. True or false? Who you are today is a result of every decision you've made in your life. False. Anybody want to counter that? It's true. True. So, put you on the spot. It's my bad. But is that protein? No. No? Organic smoothie? Yeah. Nice. It's all good. It's making me thirsty. So, keep it up, man. Keep it up. And eat healthy. Take care of your body too. That's something that I didn't do the first 10 years of my career. I sacrificed that. Big mistake. So, actually true. We are the exact result of our decisions that we've made in our lives. Okay? So, if the life we have is a result of the decisions we make, our whole goal is if we can make better decisions, then we can have a better life. Does that make sense, how we got there? And the key, so we don't get in this trap of living someone else's life that we don't want, living in a career that we don't want to be in, we need to personalize and customize our decisions. So step one, so there's basically a 3-step process. First step is to develop your own 3 guiding principles of how and why you make decisions. I'll share mine with you. But does anybody have an example of before you make a decision, before you make an important decision, there's something that you think to yourself or that you say to yourself to try and help you make a better decision? Does anybody have that already? So, what do you?
Kind of how much is depending on what it is, it's what is the risk to the reward?
Okay, risk and reward. That's my business world, man. That's what it's all about. So yeah. So this, if I'm going to take this risk, all right. What is the reward? But also too, what's the downside? What if it doesn't go well? And I believe you said what do you?
I mean, I just kind of think of the future and then how that decision will match up with what I want.
Okay. Yeah. So just think. So you're putting yourself in the perspective of your future, and magically. So when you're looking at risk reward, and when you're looking at how and where you want to be in the future, do your decisions get smarter? It's a lot easier to make a wise decision. So for me, at my stage of life, it's not about being smarter anymore. I'm trying to be wise. I'm trying to ask myself, okay, what would a wise person do in this situation? Okay? So thank you. Those are perfect. So my 3 guiding principles. First, love others always. Okay? It is very difficult to... it's impossible to make a good decision if you are coming from a place of hate and spite. So anytime I've made a decision because I was angry, how do you think it went? You, sir, what do you think? How did it go for me? Very bad. Very bad. Has anybody done something when they're so enraged and look back on it and be like, man, that went so beautifully. I was so angry, I called so-and-so, told them da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and yelled at them, and and they were like, oh, thanks for calling, this is awesome, right? Like, I'm so glad you just went off on me like that. Oh, man. I feel so terrible. This is great. So, anything, never make a decision when you're mad, okay? The same thing I'm telling you, I tell my 4-year-old and 2-year-old, like, it's okay to be angry. It's not okay to act on it. It's not okay to throw your toys when you're angry. And then I look in the mirror, and I'm like, all right, James, it's okay to be angry. It's not okay to throw stuff when you're mad, okay? So just, again, decision making, make sure that it's a reflection of what your guiding principles are. Work hard. This is very easy for me at work, okay? This is my challenge to you, is you need to be able to work hard at work and hard at home and hard on your relationship. So like everything in life is relationships. So think of it as I'm top 6% in the world. I can't talk, but I'm top 6% in the world. What I do. Who cares how much success I achieve over at work if I lose the relationship with my wife and kids, if I lose the relationship with my family, if I lose the relationship with my friends? So my biggest challenge that I have to deal with now in my life is how do I bring the intensity at home to be better and to be a better husband, be a better father that I do at work with my team. So understand, some of this is going to come more natural in different areas of life, but whatever areas of life you have relationships in, you need to constantly work on it. Last thing, take pride in both. Just like my grandma crying and telling me, like, don't do it, you won't be successful, why don't you do something safer? There's going to be people, especially when you start doing well at something, people are going to notice, hey, you're working very hard at this, it's going well, and a lot of times it's not a conscious thing, but people, have you ever had someone try to drag you down? Something's going good for you, and then somebody else try to pull you back down to their level where they're not happy? That ever happen? Will you raise your hand a little bit? No? So it's human nature, it's part of life. Okay, so those are my 3, but again, when I'm making a decision, I have to go through this, I have to think through this, and so develop your own 3 guiding principles. How are we doing on time? I started my disappearing clock late. 10 minutes? Okay. Who's ready for more career planning, eh? Yeah, all right, that's my dude. All right, so 3 guiding principles, personalize, customize everything. So life plan, 50-year life plan. Does that sound ridiculous? Be honest. I just came in here and told you to do a 50-year life plan. You're like, dude, I'm just trying to get to summertime, no more school, right? So the former CEO of a Fortune 500 company, very successful guy, was fortunate enough to have dinner with him through a young professional group that I was a part of early on. He said, James, you need a 50-year life plan. At that time, I was 28 years old. I'm like, this guy's out of his mind. So I went home and just kept thinking about it, kept thinking about it. Couldn't get to sleep, so about 2 in the morning, I got up, said, fine, I'll do this stupid 50-year life plan this guy was talking about. Changed my life forever. So how old will you all be in 50 years from now? How old will you be, sir? 67. All right. So what are you doing at 67, man? Tell me about it. How's it going?
I don't know.
You don't know? All right. Okay. Is there anything you would like to be doing at 67 in your mind?
Probably retired.
Retired? All right.
Florida, maybe. I don't know.
Florida? All right. All right. Cool. What about you, miss? When you're 67, what are we doing?
I'm gonna be living on the beach.
Living on a beach?
No, actually, I'd probably still be working.
Still work? Okay. Now, do you think you'd still be working if you had a life plan and a career plan and you were able to?
Well, I mean, if I like
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll probably never stop working. I do love what I do. And quarantine proved that if I'm with my wife every day, she will get super annoyed with me. And you probably are annoyed with me already, but just you can tell why I need to be out doing things. But thank you for sharing that. So if you can put yourself in the perspective of your future, you were talking about before, decision making, right? Risk reward, and think about my future. If I can make a decision based off that, You need to ask yourself two things. First, what would my 67-year-old self tell me to keep doing? What decisions am I making that are actually moving me forward? They make me happy. They help me move forward in life. And you need to ask yourself, what do I need to stop doing? So if you're talking to your 67-year-old self, all right, we all know what we shouldn't be doing and continue to do. So that is going to be a huge challenge for you. It's something that I have to do myself every day, is what are the things I'm doing that maybe I stopped doing because they're difficult and I need to get back on it? And what are the things that I'm doing that I need to stop? Otherwise, I'm not going to be happy. The result's not going to be what I want. The 50-year life plan, so 5 years from now, how old will you be?
22.
Okay, so some of you 21, 22. So you'll be 22?
Yes.
Yes. All right, final answer?
Yes, I will be 22.
All right, 22, perfect. Okay, like I said, math wasn't my thing, so you could tell me I'll be 37. I'm like, oh, that sounds, okay, yeah, that's about right. So you're 22, what is that like?
Probably finishing out my last year of college, depending on how it goes.
Okay, depending on how it goes, all right. Do you have a major picked out? Do you have a career picked out right now?
No.
Is that okay?
For now it is.
Yes, it's completely fine. It's no big deal. What do you want to do?
22 probably
Yeah,
not.
so at 22, and again, at 22, I didn't know what I was still figuring my stuff out. So again, be more intentional about your planning than I was, but understand that you will figure it out. It will come together. So first thing is you want to have 3 goals for the next 5 years. Have a personal goal, professional goal, and a financial goal. Pop quiz, what's the most important of those 3 goals? Personal. Okay? All extremely important. You said financial back there, right? Yep. It's about that money. So that's where most people start, right? Is they're like, well, I'm going to make my goal for the year based around money. Or professionally, I'm going to make it about work. What happens is then your personal goal just kind of gets thrown off to the side. But if you start with the personal goal, what do you really want this year for yourself? Magically, you'll start doing, when I say professional, like, so that could be whether you have a job, whether you have a business that you support in the summer, or you're working on classes, whatever it might be. Make that something that is supporting your personal goal. And again, who cares about the money if it's not making you happy? Who cares about the career if it's not making you happy? And then the next 5 to 50 years, it's going to get really boring really fast, very vague, very fast. But understand, so if you're 22 to 27, what's your personal, professional, financial goal for those years of your life? 27 to 32, and so on and so forth. For me, it was super weird. I didn't like doing it, but I forced myself to do it. And I remember in those far out goals, it's like baby number 1. Kind of weird. Okay, 2 years later, what do I want? Baby number 2? So I had no idea that would be JJ and Julia. So, but now, so again, it's not everybody's exact path. Not everything's going to work out exactly how you planned it. But knowing what I wanted out of life, magically, tough decisions got really easy really fast. Okay, so that's the life plan. Career plan, 30 years minimum. This is the most important thing. There's tons of variables as well, but I'm going to leave you with a few things. First off, align what you'll make, what your income potential will be in that career. And don't take the colleges and universities' word for it. Talk to actual people, especially people that are just starting off in that career, to get a real dollar amount of what to expect. And align that with how much you're going to borrow. So if you're borrowing student loans, first off, please don't do student loans if you don't have to. Scholarships, they're all out there. Most scholarships don't get paid out because people don't apply for them. So hopefully you're out applying for scholarships and that you don't need any student loans. But understand, people will borrow incredible amounts of student loans for a career that can't afford it. So that, what's the important part of the career? Was anybody thinking like to pay $1,500 a month in student loans? I can't wait to pay $2,000 a month in student loans. That is what life is all about, right? So keep in mind when you're down here and you're choosing a path is, first off, get some scholarships, apply for as many as you can, but is what I'm going to make based off my conversation with real people in those positions going to afford the student loans that I'm taking? Is there a different way? We got Lakeland and the Holden Center down the road. It's an amazing opportunity if, depending on what your situation is. Strengths are greater than weaknesses. Can you be top in the world just working and striving, against all odds with your weaknesses? Will your weaknesses get you to the best in the world? No. Will your strengths get you eventually to being the best in the world at what you do? Yes. Okay? So understand, it's taken me almost 14 years now. I have a team of people that do 99% of what I used to do because I'm terrible at most things. So I'm very good at a little bit. My team will not let me do other things anymore because the second James gets involved, his good ideas create problems. We don't want any more problems, right? So work your strengths. Relationships. When I talk about relationships, you cannot delegate your weaknesses. You cannot build something special with your life if you don't have the relationships to support your weaknesses to enhance your strengths. Last thing here, be the expert. Like whatever it is, be the best at it. When it comes to, I think about what my kids, what am I worried about for their careers and, can they go into trades? Can they go into manufacturing? Can they go into traditional college path? Whatever it might be, who knows what the world's going to be like? Nobody knows when you're 22, 5 years from now. Nobody knows what the world's going to be like. But understand, if you are continuously making yourself better as a human being, as a person, and enhancing your professional goals and your skills, you're creating a life where you're not stressed about what if they replace me? What if technology comes out to replace me? What if this happens? What if, what about all this stuff? Understand, if you continue to be the best, you are irreplaceable. And instead of you looking for work, work will be looking for you. Okay, people, I'm getting recruited 24/7. And it's not because I was good at it from the start. Nobody would talk to me. I would interview everywhere. And they were like, oh, no experience, bye. No success, no track record of business, okay, bye. Now magically everybody wants to talk to me. So again, I'm not done getting better. I hope you're not done getting better. Like, just get after it. It's going to be fun. And last thing I'm going to say, when we're talking about all this, figure out, what are you here for? We're all here for a reason. We're all very unique, very special. And I know it sounds cheesy, cliche, whatever, but understand that this world is better because you're in it. And it's all about identifying, and personally customizing your decisions to help you give your best in everything you do. So Ralph Waldo Emerson, there's one line in one of his poems called Success. Remember, I was obsessed with success, found misery. But this line in this poem keeps me here, keeps me happy, keeps me going every day. And that is to know one life has breathed easier because you lived. This is to have succeeded. So my challenge to you is, hopefully you're breathing a little easier about what is possible with my career, what's possible with my life. What are some things I need to focus on? But my ultimate challenge to you is go help someone else breathe a little easier because you live. So thank you.